Okay.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Not much.
Been a while.
Yes, it has. It has.
How you like sitting over there in that chair?
It's a different angle, a different perspective.
Right.
Not bad though. Not bad.
Well, it's been a few weeks. 3 to be exact, since we did our last recording.
I think so.
Had a lot of life happening around us, busy schedules.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Super busy, bro. But we're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kicking it off again.
Yep. Absolutely.
Absolutely. One of the things that I wanted to bring up, and I know I touched with you about it before we started recording, was my trip to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go to Portland, not last week, but the week before. Have you ever been to Portland? Are you familiar with Portland or anything like that?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Gorgeous area of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend anybody go visit it. But I know a lot of people, I think like after COVID and all of the uprising and things like that, there was a lot of light put on Portland, for their awkward views, because, I think all drugs are illegal in Portland.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
Quite a few. Marijuana for sure. I know, I want to say almost every drug's illegal. And if there is any illegal drugs, it's far few in between. But which is very, different than the rest of the United States. So they get a lot of flack for that. There's a lot of homeless people up there that, it's pretty obvious when you're downtown. So I know they get a lot of heat for that. I think during the whole, uprisings and stuff, they kind of just put the police on, we don't really need you type attitude. I think that was probably the worst state, if I'm not mistaken, that had police reduction, and just a lot of uprising. But outside of all of that, beautiful state. And I was staying downtown, so I got to witness all of it. And it's funny because the first time I went to Portland, it was for training, and I was a different part of the town, pretty secluded from downtown, had no interactions with it unless I wanted to go down there for dinner after class or something.
Right.
So it's we were really kind of protected. And it's, I fell in love with it that first time, because actually I think I was there for 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
And what was the time frame from the last time you went? How long ago was that?
Oh, the first time I went was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, way before 2 years before 2020 happened. And
Okay.
I got to go to the coast. We went to the Oregon coast. We didn't go down towards California, but we basically made a straight line towards the coast from Portland, and then drove up to, I want to say, the northern part of Oregon before we made our way back. And I can't remember the name of the town. I think it starts with an A. Astoria. That's where they shot the Goonies.
Oh boy.
Yeah, bro. The house is still there. You can go see it. They have the police office, the police station, that was in the movie. It's still there, kind of encapsulated. You can walk up to it and look at it, but
Oh, okay.
pretty cool. Love it. The whole trip, the first go around was definitely a different vibe. I'm just eyes wide open and taking it all in. It's so green up there, so many huge trees. It's just amazing. So I fell in love with it the first time I went up there.
Okay, so you're saying like in terms of like the scenery and everything, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, and the
Okay,
food.
I got you.
The food on the coast, like I I have not tasted any like seafood like that before.
I mean, that's kind of how I felt when I went to Japan.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's definitely a difference.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And they're like big on a specific type of crab. It's not snow crab, but I can't remember the name of it. And it's so like at first when they were like, I was like, "Do y'all have like snow crab?" And they're like, "No, we have this kind of crab." And I was like, "Ooh." But I tried it, and I was like, "Okay, probably need to not judge a book by its cover" type of attitude, right? But again, fell in love with it the first time. So going back this time, and I had been wanting to go back like for other training, but just never got the opportunity. So I took advantage of getting to go there again. Different, obviously, environment. You know, I'm downtown, staying downtown. You know, so there's no protection. So definitely got to witness a lot of different things that I didn't the first time. And I understand why people kind of, I don't want to visit Portland, but I personally, I think you can make any situation a good situation if you look at it in a positive way.
and that is your attitude about a lot of things.
Yeah.
which is a good quality.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely can be negative sometimes, but I definitely try to look at, especially when you're visiting other places that you've never been to. Like, why would you crap on something? Like, enjoy, take in all you can, like, learn something,
Yeah.
you know, experience something. Don't just live in the box. Get out of your box.
Yeah.
Right. It's not healthy. I don't think it is, you know, so had fun, got on the Lime scooters or some Lime scooters around. I don't know if I told you this. You know, the last time I went to Oklahoma City with my wife, we got on the Lime scooters and we rode around Bricktown, and like we were on those things for like hours, and she had never ridden one, and it was like a date like that wasn't supposed to be a date. We just had so much fun.
Oh, that's cool. No, that's real cool.
Yeah, it was
I'm glad
like
to hear that. Yeah,
very refreshing to just like really not spend a lot of money and just
have fun.
drive around town and have fun. Yeah, we definitely enjoyed ourselves. So that was cool.
Yeah, I really like Bricktown.
Oh yeah, and
Now, did you real quick? Not to interrupt you, but
you're
like,
good.
did you? You know, when you, I mean, of course, I know you didn't live like right next door to Bricktown, but like, when you lived in the city, did you visit there often or no?
no,
Really?
we didn't, and that's
Wow.
the sad thing,
Wow.
bro. It's so sad. I'm a little ashamed to say that. I mean,
That's interesting.
the only time we ever went to Bricktown was when we were going out to Bricktown, whether it was like to have dinner, you know, or
Right.
like a date. But we lived like on the northern side of Oklahoma City, like northwest. So don't get me wrong. It's like a 10-minute drive, right? 15-minute drive to get to Bricktown. No
Right.
excuse whatsoever. But it was like, oh, we're going to have to get in the car. We're going to be around a lot of people. We're going to have to spend all this money. Like, I don't want to do it, right? And then when we went there for the trip that we went up there for, she had some friends coming from out of state. Their daughter is playing in a softball tournament, and, you know, she wanted to go support her. And that's why we were there. And we were like, would you move back here and stay in? I was like, dude, I would. Hands down. I mean, like when you're away from it long enough, you appreciate it. And when you live there, it's like, it's just another thing, you know? So,
Yeah, I like that location. It's a cool spot.
dude, it is. I mean, it's a gym in our state that I don't think it's enough credit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And they're just expanding, you know? So
Yes.
sky's the limit for them. But yeah. So I kind of, going back to Portland, it was amazing, and I appreciated it, even though it was a different environment. I still appreciate like getting to experience that, getting to eat some really good food. I didn't go to the coast, didn't get to eat seafood, but I got to eat Indian food for the first time, bro. So the reason why I went there was for a business trip, and there were people from India that is a part of my department, and we got to talk to them and, basically learn what they do. And 3 days in, they were going to this Indian restaurant. And dude, I'll tell you right now, I love it. I love Indian food.
I've only had it a couple of times myself, but in my case, I love curry, so
yeah,
I always want to try all types of curry.
yeah. And
But what did you end up trying? If you do the
curry, goat curry was one of them.
names. Okay, yeah.
They had butter chicken. So it's kind of like what they told me. It's like, this is the curry that, we give Americans because it's not that spicy. The curry that I ate, the goat curry, that was some hot stuff. But I love spicy, right? It wasn't like, it's one of those increasing heats. Like, it's going to make you sweat before your mouth is like raw to where you don't want to eat food anymore. It's like that internal
Oh
heat.
yeah, no, I'm totally out on that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Anything super spicy, I can enjoy it to a degree, but yeah, I don't want anything super hot.
Yeah. And this wasn't like, it was kind of like hot, right? But it wasn't like eating a habanero and then your mouth is just numb and you just can't eat anything else because it's so painful. This was kind of like that. Yeah, there's some heat there, but you're dabbing your forehead because it's like internally heating you up. There was some breads that they had, tried some desserts, but it was just like that authentic food that I crave. You can ask anybody in my family, like, if I'm going to eat another country's food, I want to eat their food. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, I love Chinese, but I want to go to like a Chinese restaurant where, you're sitting on the floor. I want to go to like a ramen house, like where they're like, the food that they're giving you is the food that they're eating. You know what I'm saying? If I go to a Mexican restaurant, like, are you eating this food? Because that's the food that I want to eat. I don't want to eat the food that you're giving to everybody else, like, in a trough type of deal. So I kind of look for those authentic experiences, and this definitely was one. And it was just the camaraderie that came with it. It was really interesting and refreshing to get to talk to them about what we were eating and, how they would eat this in their country and things like that. So it was a really diverse group. You have the Indian guys, and then you have us Americans that are, kind of tagging along with them. And I personally, outside of myself, I thought the other two really wouldn't eat the food, but everybody dug into it, and it was amazing. It really was. So I enjoyed it. But just all of that incorporated, like, it just made the trip even better.
Okay. Cool.
So, but yeah,
nice.
That's really all I wanted to say. That was really all I had. That was probably the most exciting thing that's happened from our last recording to this one, was that trip. So, and OU beating Texas today. Which, I know you're not really a sports fan.
No. I am a sports fan, but remember, I'm more of a basketball.
That's right.
UFC, boxing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that.
But I'll let you get in your bag. Get in your bag.
I mean,
we'll leave the door wide open.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, but you go into today's game, right? For me and for probably any OU fan, how is the defense really going to do against Texas, right? Because you got, like me and Kiki were talking outside before we started, like, you got Texas beating Alabama game one, right? And it's like, ugh. And last year, like, Texas almost beat Alabama with a good quarterback. They almost beat them. And so you go to this year and you're like, oh, wow, they did beat them this time. Man, how are we going to do? Because I don't think Oklahoma, if you were to ask anybody, if Oklahoma and Alabama were to play game one, would they win? I don't think anybody would give you a definite yes, especially based off of last year's performance. So it's one of those nerve-wracking things. And Texas OU game, the whole week, it's just, pins and needles, right? And both of those teams, because it's such a big rivalry, they're just going to give it their all.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably holding plays in their bag for this game specifically, that type of thing. Even with OU, OSU, I'm pretty sure it's that way when they were big rivalries. So you kind of go into that with the mindset of, I hope that the defense can show up and put on a good performance and hold Texas, because I think Ears is a really good quarterback. We know he can throw the ball. They got Worthy. They got Bijan. Like, they've got people that are game changers and they are good players, and they can change the game alone, right? So you got those threats, and we have a few threats, right? But it's just like, do we really have it clicking? So going into the game was really nerve-wracking, but after it was 7-7 in the first quarter, you're like, oh, we actually scored. Well, that's better than last year. Maybe this is going to be a good game, right?
Yeah.
Especially the way that it opened up, because, opening game, you get an interception. You get an interception, take it back. Texas has the ball. You cause them to fumble it. You get it back again. And it's like, okay, defense is showing up. And it just got better and better throughout the game, and for it to end the way that it did, I'm not going to go like super detailing. I'm not a sports analyst, you are. I'm a homer. I am OU through and through. Even if they sucked, I'm still going to talk.
Hey, but it's nice to have something that we can be proud of.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
being from Oklahoma.
Exactly. We just and when the Thunder get better, then we're gonna have something else to be proud.
Hey, we were doing our thing for a little while. You know what I mean?
We were doing our thing.
Yeah,
Golly. We were doing our thing, and then it just got broken up. But I think this year will be a good season for the Thunder if they can all stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember that guy's name that set out the first year that got.
Oh yeah, and I know, and I've been out of the loop since. I watched a lot of like highlights, and I was pretty current when I was going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really out of the loop, but I want to get back into that. Just because it's like I said, it's one of the, I don't want to say one of the few things, but it gives Oklahomans something to be proud of.
Exactly.
Like you said, in the case of Thunder right now, we're kind of what would you call it? Like a rebuilding phase.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say, I think we've actually gotten our last piece in our rebuilding, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, it was kind of up in the air. Are they going to try to lose again this season so they can get some more draft picks? They played really well, for the most part. They played with their heart, and they were like, we're not going to be losers.
Yeah.
But I think the guy that had to sit out for the first year because of his ankle, he is back. And I wish I could remember his name. I feel so bad. But anyways, I think that was their last piece that they were really looking for, and that's who they want to build around. Dude's 7-something. So, he's going to be monster. So, I think their building phase is over. There might be a couple more people that they want to pick up. But basketball is so crazy, professional sports period are so crazy. You can't stop trying to recruit new people because that's when you're going to die, So you're always kind of in a rebuilding, but I think they have their starting five that they want to try to get a championship with, right? Everybody else is going to be backups, when they do have to sit on the bench to take a breather.
Right.
So I think maybe that second line, they might be still trying to figure that out. But I do think they have their first five. But I mean, coming from, as an OU fan, coming from the whole Lincoln Riley era and just having to suffer points being put against your team because we can't stop any kind of offense because our defense just sucked. And getting to see a game like that when OU just punishes Texas in the form of stopping them on our goal line 4 times.
Justice was served.
Justice is definitely served. I told everybody that was around me, I was like, I don't care if we lose this game. Like, I want us to win. Don't get me wrong. But after watching that happen, bro, that's a win in my book. Like, no joke. That is a win in my book. Because I don't remember the last time I seen an OU defense do something like that. Like, for real. We always depended on our offense. So, I mean, good game. Both teams played hard, left it out there. I just know that everybody from Texas is so mad. That last play to make that touchdown, instead of just going for a field goal, tying up, and just going to overtime, I thought he was going to get sacked, bro. I thought that pocket collapsed on him so hard. And for him to get that ball off, like, that was just, that. You got it. You are the chosen ones. So it was good. It was a good game, man. I was super pumped. I liked it. And I would have loved it for it to be a blowout, but I think Texas is really good too. And you have to give credit to where credit's due. They're playing good football. And we fought. And the thing is, and another thing is, we did not give up. I think if we would have been in that position last year, or not even last year, the year before last year, if it was that close of a game, we'd have probably given up. I don't think the heads of the players were there. And I think, the coach is definitely, that's his biggest focus, is trying to stay in the game no matter what. You kind of hear that in his after game speeches that he gives and stuff like that. Anytime he's in a conference, he's always talking about, like, just got to keep our heads in it, fight for everything. So they definitely did fight. There was a couple of times where it kind of looked like old OU. There was some missed tackles. And I was like, oh, what are we doing here? You're like, open field, and you just trying to side hit them. Like, bro, you can't just side hit Worthy. There's no way, bro. You got to come at that dude. You got to come at him. But that 4 and out right at the goal line, bro. I mean, they laid it all out there. They came with it. And like I said, that's definitely a win. I think that should be a highlight reel right there. Those 4 downs and no touchdown from Texas on the 1 yard line. I mean, yeah, I don't think I can't remember the last time OU did that. I mean, maybe early 2000s when they were, a solid squad, but we've had some time in between where our defense wasn't that good. So kudos to them. Congratulations. Yeah, good stuff. Didn't know I was going to talk about sports today, but
I like how you say that as you see what you're wearing. Did you know I was going to say that?
No, I didn't. But I did forget that I am wearing all my OU gear.
I just like how you're like, I didn't know I was going to talk about this.
Lies. He's a liar. Anyways.
No.
So, anything new?
Anything new on my end? No, not really. No. There is one thing, but the reason why I'm, earlier, even when I was like, well, I'm not going to share anything.
Yeah.
Because one of those things, it will probably be a topic for another time.
Okay.
And I actually put it on your little list.
No way.
Yeah, you didn't see that I added to it?
Mario, you're surprising me, bro.
I know I was about to word it a different way. Did you catch that? That I kind of paused for a second.
I know, I know, because you.
But I don't want to.
I was gonna say something as well.
I'm not. I wasn't. Yeah, I was like, I don't want. Not trying to be. I'm not trying to be the reason why we get canceled.
You can leave that all up to me.
You right?
No, dude, that's super cool. I honestly haven't looked at the list, so I'm going to have to check it out now. I mean, just for everybody that's listening, I'm just going to share just a little bit, right? Like, you could care less for Apple. This is a topic, this is a future podcast topic that we are going to talk about in depth.
Oh, I remember you told me about it, and then I think you have it on the list, too.
Yeah, it is on the list.
Mm-hmm,
So,
I think that would be a great one where we could. Well, I know that we're kind of limited on mics and stuff, but that would be great if we could get
bring some more people in.
Yeah, get like 2 other people and just have. People.
Hey, I'll make it happen. If we got to get 2 more mics and bring 2 more people in here, yeah, let's do it. I mean, I know that there are people on both sides of the fence, so I get it,
Yeah.
Just like
and then there's a lot of people that, I mean, of course, obviously we're just joking and having fun with it.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of people that really don't care, but then there's other people that are really like,
they're serious.
They're very serious.
Very.
Yeah.
Where would you put yourself at?
I would put myself on, I would say I truly don't care.
Yeah.
But then I do see some people, with their little iPhones, and it's like, I just see that as, it's just a little status symbol for you. You think you're cute with that shit, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's just, you're so corny. You're absolutely corny to me. Just that. That's about it. I'm done.
I was about to say, tell us how you really feel, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Can I keep? No, I'm just kidding.
For another, we have to we're gonna have to.
No,
sure.
I think it would be a funny episode.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean,
bro. I don't care. I've had both phones. I've already explained to you my viewpoint. But going back to the notes, the reason why I react the way I do is because one, it was difficult to get you linked up with it.
Destiny, fucking destiny.
But then after we made it happen, I really didn't think you were going to use it because
I even liked how you set it up because you were kind of like this. Your posture changed and you were like real time. And then I was just like,
are you burning inside just a little bit?
I was just doing this.
Oh yeah. So, but for that reason, I was like, yeah, he might not use this thing at all, just to spite me.
Right.
We'll see.
Right.
But what's so funny is you've actually used it, and I didn't even look at the damn. Oh man.
No, that's pretty funny. So I wonder if I would have just not said anything, and then one day you just looked and there's just a bunch of crap on there, and you're like, "When did you do that?" And I would have been like, "Yeah, months ago."
Goodness gracious. Yeah. Well, no excuses, but yeah, my head was definitely in other places. Like I said, I had to take days off from work, bro. It was getting to the point I was just burnt out, And if you have time off, I don't care who you are, take time off.
I'm totally with you on that.
You have to. I mean, I feel like we're in this machine where I know I have FOMO. Like, I do fear of missing out of things, especially when it comes to work. Like, in every aspect of my life, I have FOMO. But when it comes to work, it kind of just multiplies because I have to know what's going on. And I know I can't know everything that's going on, but I don't want to miss anything. Like, I don't want to take days off and something happen.
You know
what I'm saying?
You saying that, yeah, like, okay, so forget about like, when I was talking about the recent promotion, but just when I was just regular staff, it always seemed like, and just like you, I never took off. I take off, and then all this dumb crap has changed.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then, everybody else had practice or whatever on it. And then now I have to catch up or whatever. Catch up in the midst of whatever else you're working on.
Yeah.
So I totally know what you mean when you're like, I just don't want to miss out. And now I'm playing catch up or whatever. And it always seems like something weird happens, when I take off.
Yeah. Crap hits the fan. Oh man, if I was here, that wouldn't have happened. That type of attitude, mindset. Yeah, I mean, I think the system is built to make us feel that way. That's why we don't take time off,
Yeah, well,
because everything's moving at a pace where if you take a day off, you're behind, and now you got to catch up, right? And who wants to catch up? We always just want to stay on top of what we're doing, right? I mean, there are certain workloads where you're always behind. You're working, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and what you just said there, like that's not with everything.
Yeah,
with my position now, but there is like two aspects to it where realistically, what you just said is true.
Yeah,
like there's not really a way for you to, unless you exclusively worked on this one thing. But
exactly,
then everything else would be neglected.
Suffered,
so, that's really not feasible. So, like you said, you're just gonna stay behind in this one area. Maybe because it's not as time sensitive as the other stuff. So you can get away with putting it off, but eventually, you got to take care of it.
Yeah.
It can't just sit there on the back burner forever.
Exactly. Yeah. There's like, in my job, there's just some things like, it's okay to like not finish the task entirely, or be behind just a little bit.
Yeah.
You just eat off a little bit at a time, knowing that you're never going to really complete it. You're just taking off pieces at a time so that you don't fall like weeks behind, right?
Gotcha.
You're just you're never going to catch up, but you're just keeping that pile as small as possible,
Yeah.
Unless you just want to work your weekends. And I mean, yeah, you could catch up, but
what is it going to cost?
What is it going to cost you? Yeah, exactly. You're free.
Oh God! But all I could do is laugh at that. How did we get to this point again?
Dude, that just came out perfect.
No, it did.
I did not
I give you applause on that one.
Anyways, that was pretty good.
No, that was good. I'll give that to you. That was good. And I don't know why when you said the word before it, I was like, I think he's about to. Then.
Another interesting thing. Sorry, kind of backtracking at the Portland visit.
Yeah.
You have a little powwow first day. Introduce yourself. Tell something interesting about yourself, and everybody says something interesting, and I was like, my name's Stephen Trichet, and I own a detailing business on the side, and I have a podcast. Oh, you have a podcast? What is it? I was like, damn it. I don't know if I want these people in my brain like that. Because I know I say some off, like, I'm just a weird dude. You know me. Like, I can go far out there just for the sake of conversation. And if nobody was to hold me back, like, there's no telling.
And I think that's what it boils down to. I don't think it's that really that you're out there. I just think like maybe I'm just as much out there as you.
Yeah.
But maybe I have gate 1, gate 2, gate 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you ain't getting past this third gate.
And I'm like, what's that furthest gate down here? But yeah, I told some people about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we want to look that up and see." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, yeah,
but
go right on ahead."
What you're describing though, right there, that is actually the I don't want to call it conflict, but I'm going to use that word.
Yeah, that's fine.
But that's the internal conflict I was going through when I first made my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Because, you know, a lot of stuff I was like, okay, I got to do it this way. I got to come with this type of energy. And then there was a part of me that I just didn't want. You know how you just said, how did you word it about these people getting in your head?
yeah, I don't want them in my head.
In your head. And,
Yeah.
and to me, you know, like even if people just had nothing but compliments,
Right.
it's like I still just didn't want someone to be like, well, maybe you should consider doing this, or have you ever thought about that? Maybe you should have a guest, or maybe you should do it like this. Maybe you should have the color blue in the background. You know, it's just like I wanted to work on this thing for a while,
Right.
and I do it the way I want to do it, and no one telling me, and you know, do this, do that, do this, try this. Have you ever thought about this? Or
Yeah.
and I mean, everybody's different. Some people, they need that. You know what I mean?
True. Some
Because they're
people
like,
do.
I have no idea what direction to go. But I mean, like, I was reading and watching videos like for several months.
Yeah.
Like several months before I even started my channel, I was like, I think I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So let me look up a bunch of stuff on that. And even all the while I'm learning all the stuff, then once even I'm trying, I'm just like, oh, wow, there's so much to this. And even though I'm thinking in my head, I want it to turn out this way, and then it turns out another way. Not that I was upset or anything, you know, because I think the first, even you probably experienced that the first couple of episodes, you know, you're coming out with stuff and you're like, okay, that's kind of how I envisioned it.
Yep.
But maybe there's other things I'm thinking about, like, for example, the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
This is what's going on in my head. This is
Yes.
how I can already see what it's going to look like 3 months from now. I already have it in my head.
Right.
And you're just doing all that stuff. And I was just like, I need to just have my own thoughts before I start. And so, but anyways, point being though, is that I know exactly what you mean by that. And that's totally what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You know, when I started my channel, I was like, okay, do I want to share this? And who's the first couple of people I'm going to share it with? And,
Yeah.
you know, maybe I just want to experiment a little bit and just see what happens.
Right.
Your famous phrase, you know, let's just see what let's just see what happens first.
Yeah, for sure. So all of that,
Yes.
encompassing all of that, it was like, but I already put it out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people were like, yeah, I'm going to look that up. I want to see that. Okay. One of those type things. And then another question got asked, so have you talked about any hot topics? Like, well, we don't talk about these things and we don't talk about these things, but I did bring up an interesting one, and it was about freedom. So when I said that, that's why I went backwards and kind of talked about the Portland trip, because that was like one of the first things that I was like, yeah, if you don't like that, you're not going to watch this one. Not really. I mean, I think that was probably our most controversial one, or like most very interesting conversation that, you know, some people might not agree with, but, you know, you have them. And that's just, I mean, it's kind of a testament to who we are and kind of how we think, you know, and me and you have different viewpoints, even though, you know, we have a lot of same viewpoints, you know, but it was interesting. And I guess, honestly, and telling the people about it, these people that I didn't really know, like personally, just from like afar, because we're working the same company, like it was kind of a sigh of relief, and it kind of made me feel like, well, why aren't you promoting this a little more? Like, why do you care? Like, we started this project with the attitude of who cares, you know? Like, we're doing this for ourselves and we're going to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why don't you have fun with us? Jump on the ride. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's kind of where I got to go with it, and not like feel like it has to be polished for me to like present it to people, because that's kind of what you were saying, right? You kind of wanted it to be as polished as possible, before you gave it out, in which you did that. And I think for this project, I don't think we really did a lot of polishing. It was just like, well, we know the premise of it, and we know that we can have good conversations.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to start.
Well, I will say this. I will say this. Don't sell yourself too short, because like I would say on our end, probably the polished side is, like I said, a lot of people starting out, they don't have this level of audio quality. That's a big one. Like, and it's also an important aspect to
This is
podcasts. So,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, it puts us leagues above other people, that are, I'm talking about people that are starting out,
Right.
Obviously I'm not talking about, people that have millions of subscribers, but I'm talking about people that just start out. Like I said, like I said before, I have friends that are using their cell phones.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean the audio is bad. I mean, if you can set it up in a way where, as long as you're close to that mic, you can get decent audio quality, you know? So it won't sound bad. Now, if we were doing it and we were using that mic, and you see how far away it is, the one that's sitting on the camera, it would not be that great, because we're not close to the mic. So, you know what I mean? So
I've edited them. I know. It would suck really bad.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I don't know if you really search for some, but I mean, I've even occasionally just like searched for other podcasts, just trying to find, because remember, I told you one of the things we definitely, like, I talked about it, but then I never followed through with it. And that's, just trying to link up with other people. It doesn't have to be around the same location, but just people that are doing something similar to what we're doing, talking about some of the similar topics that we're doing.
Right.
And just connecting with other people. I mean, that's going to be a big part of it. Cause I mean, like, we can still do it the old school way, like people, kind of like what you just did there, which that is a way to get like face to face, like, feedback.
Right.
And people just being honest, and because, they might be a little more apprehensive to post, like, if they didn't like something. But if you're face to face, they might say, well, yeah, this part right here, I don't think that was the one.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Whatever. You know what I mean? Or they might feel like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't want other people to hear me say this, but I agree. Everything you said was right.
Don't tell anybody.
I won't claim you in public.
It sounds like maybe you heard that.
Well, no, but you know what?
Okay.
But I will tell you this. I was thinking about that, and I'm totally not going to go into this, but But I was thinking about the most recent video I came out with. There's parts of it where, it's not to the level of your freedom.
Yeah.
But there is a part in there where I know it will, if it doesn't, I don't think it'll upset people, but it'll probably perplex people.
Okay.
Just my take on certain types of anime, but it really wasn't about anime. It was a review on Final Fantasy 16.
Gotcha.
But and yes, go check that out. But
I see. That's how far back I am, bro. I didn't even know that you put out a new video. Like, I'm just so engrossed in, doing what I'm doing as far as work and stuff. So but yeah, I'm gonna have to go check it out. See what.
I actually probably put a little too much time into that, just getting into little things here and there. But I mean, that's also how you get better at, making thumbnails, just adding little effects here and there, to just add a little something to the video.
Yeah.
But like I said, also it's, some of it is just time consuming.
Bro, it is.
And
it is. I mean, when you think about the back end stuff they have to do after this, like, I didn't think it would take that long, but if you care, if you want to put out a good product, it does take some time. So
yeah, it's kind of a tricky thing. Like, I mean, that's probably why I really wanted to try the podcast thing, because I think ultimately I prefer long form content.
Yeah.
As opposed to like if I just make which I mean, I've done that and there's nothing wrong with it. Instead of just make a 5-minute video about this one game and just like I'm regurgitating what everyone else is saying, yeah, this sucks, or this is good, or I think this will work out. And it's just 5 minutes of that. And that can easily get you viewership, just the same way, catching on a trend on TikTok, right? Sure. You know what I mean? It's the same concept, but I think ultimately, like I said, I like digging deeper into things, and I'm naturally long-winded. So I mean, you're asking Mission Impossible for me to make a me to make a 1 minute TikTok. Like, it's just ready, set, go. Blah, 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 blah. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? It is. You're asking too much of me.
Exactly. One thing that did happen while in our little hiatus is you went to a anime convention in Oklahoma City.
Yes.
And
well, it was actually Shawnee.
Sorry, yeah, Shawnee.
But I won't go too much into that. But
okay, yeah.
But and the only reason is because I will talk about it later.
Okay,
I'll talk about it later. But yeah, that was a fun thing to do, and it was Anime Oklahoma.
Awesome. Sorry I didn't get to go.
Oh, no biggie, no biggie.
To.
And like I said, this one was a little, not a little, much smaller than Anime Fest.
not just a little.
Not just a little.
Significantly smaller.
It's much smaller. But they did their thing. They had a really good for the size of the convention. I was impressed with their dealer's room.
That's awesome.
I was impressed by that. And
did you get anything good?
I got a couple of things.
Yeah,
I got a couple of things. Some stuff from a game. I'm sure some people have heard or are familiar with it. Genshin Impact.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, Genshin Impact is like in case you didn't know this, I've kind of said this to people in passing, but like I really don't. Not that I'm against, but I'm really not into like mobile games at all. Like the only thing mobile for me is just Switch.
Gotcha.
But so I don't play anything on my cell phone, but I would say the one game that is a mobile game, and it's probably because it does not play like a mobile game, that I think is cool, is Genshin Impact.
Huh. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess.
But you bought it for console? Or you?
Yeah, it's free to play. But
Gotcha.
But I would say probably the trade-off is that it is a gacha game.
Oh, really?
So in just
what do you?
I don't
want
to. I was just about to say I don't want to assume you know what that is, but so like the whole pretty much. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it, but I mean essentially to me the whole gacha mechanic, it is kind of like a form of gambling. Like you have a choice whether you're like, do I want to try to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours just playing this game, and then eventually I'll occasionally get free characters, or do I want to throw a little money? But here's the thing. I'm not talking about like in Call of Duty, like, screw it, I'll just buy this and then I get it. I'm talking about in Genshin Impact, it is you pay for a better chance to maybe win this.
That's garbage.
No, it is.
Oh my goodness.
So that's the sucky part. And I will say this because I mean I don't really care, but like I said, the game's free. I've probably put into it maybe about, I'd say $80.
Yeah.
So there was some times I was like,
good for you.
I was like, this is the one.
This is
the one. And then I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm about to lose my shit. I am about to.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm like, I'm so glad I'm really not a gambler, because like I could just see like people just like, okay, this is the one. This is it. And then, damn. Okay.
Let's go one more time.
Just one more. Yeah, one more. But yeah, there was definitely, like I said, a moment. I was like, you know what? Okay, I have played this game. I've gotten enjoyment out of it. I can spend $30, and then I'm like, okay, let's see if we can get some extra goodies.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, I like that character. Oh, great. I got a character I already have. Yes, that's what I want. Yes. How do they know?
You can't trade that in for something else?
No.
Oh, get out of here. Oh. That sucks.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So
I thought about playing this game until you just told
until
me.
I said, "Hey, dude, just think about it like this: it is free to play. You just don't give in to any
the
of
temptation.
Yeah, just you play the game with whatever characters it gives you, and don't pay attention to anybody else that you're like, oh, well, I kind of want those abilities. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Just say no, I don't.
I can't do that, Mario. I like talking about this. My wife had to like. She said, "I have a problem." I have a problem. I love mobile games.
Oh, okay. See, I did not know this.
But she tied it into my detailing. She tied it into my podcast.
Oh, wait,
and
okay.
She tied it into
I gotta
the
hear
game,
this.
right?
Okay, go ahead. I gotta know where this is
She
going.
was like, "Have you not noticed?
There's a pattern,
There's a pattern.
and I don't know what the pattern is, so I'm very intrigued.
When you start a project, you go all in. You don't scale back on any expenses. You got detail equipment that's in the thousands of dollars. You got a podcast system that's in the thousands of dollars, and I am playing this mobile
on these
game.
people. Flex on these people.
I'm playing this mobile game. It's called Whiteout Survival, bro. And
so what kind of? Well, yeah, tell me what kind of game this
it's
is.
RPG. It's a role playing game. Basically, I don't know if it'd be classified as an RPG, honestly. So, you are a chief of a village. You can join an alliance. It's kind of like Clash of Clans. I don't know if you ever heard of Clash of Clans.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
Right.
that.
So you have your chief of a village. You can join an alliance or a clan for Clash of Clans, and you can battle other, bases and
Are these other players?
Yeah, there are other real players.
Okay, cool.
So in Whiteout Survival, like I have a village, you can upgrade your furnace. Basically, the storyline of it is like, people are in the freezing cold because of some war that broke out and everybody is trying to get warm, right? So you start off in the tutorial, you're like building the furnace and they show you how to gather food and they give you your first hero. And basically it's like, okay, go from there, right? So you get so far in of playing for free because it's free to play, of just basically like building resources, gathering resources, building buildings, bringing in villagers that are all CPU, right? You're not really playing with live people yet. And making sure they love the village, right?
Yeah.
Building an army,
Yeah.
right? And then you make it so you basically build your furnace to a certain level. You can start joining alliances. And that's where they really get you, right? Mm-hmm. Because then you join these alliances and you have these people that could crush other people, right? And you want to crush other people like they can crush other people, right? And then you have to battle against these other alliances, right? And, well, my heroes aren't as powerful as everybody else's heroes on my team. So I need to spend a little money.
Starts.
I need to spend a little money and get my heroes built up. I'm not going to tell you how much I've spent on this game. My wife said, I want you to get a number. I was like, she's like, you need to see how much you've spent on this game.
That's funny because I was a little apprehensive to tell you about. I was like, ooh, kind of sucks saying this.
What?
A free game, and then I was like $80. Yeah. So if it was a $60 game, I've already paid for it. They already got their money out of me, so they got a little more than that.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's not that it would be different if I didn't like the game. I tried it and it sucked.
Yeah.
Or I wasn't gonna, and I would like go back and play that, but anyways, it's just, but it's like. At least I can say it's really not like the whole gambling aspect. It's not a problem I have, but I can see how you could get sucked into this. Like, especially if you really have the money. I can't imagine. Imagine if you don't have the money. Imagine if you're working at McDonald's, but you have a really high addiction to like just the whole like, I got, this is it. Today is my lucky day.
Yeah.
And I have my hat on. And
got my lucky underwear on.
And I made all 3 of those lights that one time. This is the sign I've been waiting for. Doop. Damn it.
Oh.
But yeah, so I was a little slow just now to say 80.
Bro.
I was thinking.
I'm glad you got out unscathed.
You're looking at me as a survivor.
I'm going to tell you right now, when my wife said, I want a number, she said, I don't want to know the number. I just want you to know the number.
That's like some mind game stuff.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
I don't want a number. I don't want to know the number, but I want you. You know, it'd been funny if you would have said, you can't make me.
Well, she's going to listen to this and know that I still don't know the number. I'm afraid, bro. I'm not even joking, bro. So I'll just tell you this, just to give you kind of an idea of where I do have a little bit of an addiction when it comes to mobile games, because they keep the price low enough that you really don't understand when it all adds up how much you really spent. Because you just think $5 here, $5 here, oh, $2 here, $3 there, right?
Yep.
I can tell you right now, Clash of Clans, when it first came out, bro, I was playing that game hard. I probably spent $1,000. I'm not over the course of me playing that game, and that's like months, right? Not even years, because honestly, I think I played it for like 8 to 10 months, and by the time
that's
done,
a good amount of time. That's a good amount of time.
I was just done. Nobody was playing with me that I was hanging out with. I got on it with a bunch of people I worked with in the oil field.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were all like hard on it, and I had the money, you know? And then after I get out, it's kind of like, yeah, this game's not really fun anymore. So you get rid of it. Actually, fun thing is I gave it to my son. So I let him play on my account, and he didn't have to worry about, you know, upgrading a whole bunch of crap. He had a nice account to like start off with. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I spent over $1,000 on that game altogether. No joke. And it's sickening thinking of saying that out loud for people to hear.
So I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. Do you know what? I don't know if that's the exact number, but for me, it's the exact number. But
yeah.
So within, I want to say it's within the anime community. I don't think it's in the gaming community. It might be. But anyways, do you know what they call that? Like I said, it will say in my community. You know what they call that? Someone that's spending that kind of money? You're a whale.
Yeah. They use that in crypto too.
Oh, okay.
That's the first time I came across it was in crypto. They call
really?
them whales. Yeah.
Yeah. The people that,
they have a lot of money on a specific,
Yeah, and they're just like,
token.
They're like, the only reason this game is still around is because of the freaking whales.
This is true, bro. This is true. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not the only one. All those guys.
Yeah, no.
Especially the group that I'm with. Oh, they're all dropping money.
Yeah.
They're dropping money. So this game ain't going nowhere. And those developers are just loving it, right? I mean, that's the thing. I thought about this too. I was like, man, I need to come up with a game with this concept. If I can think of a game and you're like, all
I need is 10 whales, and I'm
done.
You might get $80 out of Mario, but I need 10 whales coming in clutch, and it's all good.
Dunskies. So yeah, she had to call me out because it got a little stupid there for a second. It was like, especially on my days off when I didn't have no work to do, and I'm just sitting at the house with nobody to tell me nothing. Yeah. Let's get some upgrades in, baby.
Now I just have to ask: did it make like any kind of like extra sound effect or noise? Like, was there a way for her to know? Like, wait, what did you just do?
Oh, bro. So when you purchase anything on the iPhone, if you don't have your phone on mute, it'll go. Doo-doo-doo. It will give you a little sound. And I can like, there's been a couple of times where I'm laying in bed and we're like on our phones and I'll buy something and I forget that my phone's not on mute. And she's like, what did you just buy? Oh, she knows, bro. And I'm like, nothing. It was free. It was free. It was free. Most of the time I don't say it's free. I mean, even when it's free, it does do that little ding, you know, because you're purchasing something, even though it's free.
And the only reason I know that is because of, you know, having, you know, an iPad. So yeah, you're, you know, like even if you're just downloading an app that's free, you're right. It does that.
Yeah. When you hit that, when you click to verify your purchase.
That is so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So most of the time my phone's on mute. I don't want her to know how many times I've pressed that buy button. Oh, so sad. But I've had to, like, honestly, over the last few weeks, I've scaled back. I'm like, okay. She's like, no more. You need to like take a break from this. But it's addicting, bro. It's addicting. Like I said, it sucks you in.
Like I said, I just think about that. I'm like, what if I did have an addiction? And like I said, I worked somewhere where I was not making a lot of money. I'm like, whoo.
The light bills ain't getting paid this month. Do I want lights or do I want that character?
And like I said, I can.
That's real talk.
Yeah, I can see it. I really can see how it can just happen, especially if you're into it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just casually playing it. Because like I said, like for me, that game is the one where I'm like, oh yeah, it looks good, it plays good. This is literally like I'm playing a console game. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, how do I get her? Oh
yeah,
I got to collect more of these. How long is it going to take me to collect those? I see.
Yeah.
And then it's like, would you like to collect these one stones that will turn into this and then will turn into that, and it gives you this much currency, and then you can make a wish.
They call it making wishes.
For
dang
lies. It's like,
oh yeah,
lies.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Okay. What's that? If I pay this much, I get 10 wishes. Okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then I'm like, damn. Got that one character again. Damn. But anyways, yeah, that like I said, I can see it happening.
Yeah.
I you know.
Yeah. It sucks. But first world problems.
Right.
Like for real, for real.
No, that's funny. That's super funny. No. But yeah, it's different. It's like a whole different form of gaming. You know what I mean? It's still you know, a part of it still is gaming, but it's like they figured some way to just, like you said, give you the illusion that pay for this one little thing, $2 here, $3 there. Ooh, we're gonna go big, $5 here, but then it does add up.
Yeah, bro, it does add up. And if you're playing Monopoly Go, good luck. That's another game. I had to uninstall that game, bro. Had to uninstall. I didn't get deep like I am with this game. Like, I'm at the point right now, I don't know if I want to stop playing this game because of how much money I spent. I'm like, this game's going to stay on my phone for years. And I'm going to play this game, even if I can't spend another dime. Because my wife's like, no more. Like, I'm going to have to keep this game on my phone for a couple more years to make it worth it. Because I can't just, like, uninstall it and be like, all that just went to waste.
You're like, I'm invested in
Yes, I want some return. I want some return. So, but yeah. All right. I know we kind of went off. That was fun.
No, it was not did not see that coming at all.
No, neither did I. And I really mean that. So, what do you got for us?
I definitely learned, like I said, something about you.
Yeah.
Now, do you want me to go first?
Yes, sir.
So, do you want to take a break, or do you want to keep going? We can keep going if you want.
Can we take like a 5-minute break?
Okay, let's do it.
And we're back. All right. So what do you got for us? What do you got for us today?
Okay, so
Right,
Anime, so Anime Fest, one of the panels I went to, there was, actually it was only one, but I guess there's multiple people that are working on this, but it was one of the scientists from the International Anime Research Project.
Gotcha.
And they do like I guess, I don't know, I think I saw as far back as like 2015, they do these surveys, and it sounds like there were a few years that it was literally done by hand. Like sometimes they go to conventions, sometimes they're doing it online. It seems like this year it might have just been an online thing, and I did participate for this year.
Yeah.
But and I did look to even see, because the time has already passed for it, so I did look to see if it was they already had the results back and everything, and they don't. But I was going to go through a couple of them, some of the questions they asked and what were the results or whatever. But in this one, it's going to be mainly from 2022, I believe. But I guess like what kind of intrigued me about this is it's a survey where some of it is really like just face value, and it's just talking about like, you know, people being into this type of show, like what, you know, what's the reason that they like this or whatever. And then so some of it's really like kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
In relation to anime or manga, or like here's a simple one. It listed a bunch of hobbies / nerd type hobbies, and they just said, you know, obviously you're here at this convention doing the survey, so what is the next thing that you like just as much as anime? And I'll just let you guess what that is. Just take a guess.
Video games.
Don't think too deep into it. Okay, that's a good guess.
Okay.
That was actually second place, but we'll be more specific. So since you said gaming, I'll ask you. Remember, you know, the thing you brought up on the first episode. What was it? Consoles versus PC.
Yeah.
So specifically in gaming, what do you think? What type of gaming was it? Mobile gaming, PC gaming, console gaming? What do you think?
PC gaming.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Nice.
But the thing that was number one was manga, which I mean, that's kind of a given. I mean, they're pretty much,
they go hand in hand, right?
I would say for most anime fans, yeah.
Because correct me if I'm wrong. You obviously better versed in this than me. But a lot of animes do stem from mangas, right?
Yeah. I would say
Like
probably
even television shows.
I would say probably maybe like 85% of them.
Yeah. So I could see how manga would be number one.
Yeah.
You know.
And I love saying this mainly to people that are, because there is a different, you know, just like you know how we were just talking about the mobile thing, like
Yeah.
you know, people that like Apple versus people that don't, so on and so forth.
Right.
Just like that, there's people that are like, you know, manga is so much superior, and it's usually the first one, blah 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 blah, to anime. But I always like saying this to manga fans. I'm like, I'll consider manga to be the best when I can get manga in 5.1 surround sound. But anyways, the second thing I usually say is there's there I would argue that some of the best anime are the ones where there is the source material is the anime. And some of my favorite ones are that, you know.
Okay.
And I will tell you some of them, just a couple. We won't spend too much time on this. But anyways, the one like there was even an episode we did the podcast, I was wearing the shirt. Puella Magi Madoka Magica. That's one of them. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Cowboy Bebop.
Really? That was not a manga.
Right. Now they might have came out with something afterwards, but yeah, it
originated as an anime.
It's an anime, you know. That's and I think a lot of times when you run into that situation where it's an original story and it's designed to be this show, I think that's a lot of times when you don't run into issues where when it's based off of a manga, then the first thing is the thing finished? That's the, you know, like that could be the major issue is the manga even finished?
Yeah.
Because if it's not finished, then we're already going to eventually run into problems where we're going to get, you know, eventually the anime is going to catch up or it's going to even pass it. And that's when people will have the argument that manga is better. Like, see, they changed this and they came up with this weird ending for the story.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had to do something because they made the decision to start the show and, you know.
Right. I feel like you are kind of you're kind of put in a box when you're making an anime from a manga because you kind of have to follow that manga. But if you are making an anime out of that's the original content, you have a little more free flowing of how you're going to create this story. And there's nothing that anybody can compare it off of, so it makes sense. But
yeah. And I think, and I get that. Like, even I was talking to Utility Man about this because he's not really one of those like has a strong stance one way or the other, but he does say that he loves when you read the manga, and then now it's like, ooh, I get to see this fight play out in real time, you know, instead of just still pictures. And now I got to see, you know, how it would really go down, you know.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, okay, I could see that.
That's cool. Yeah, I can see that as well.
But you bring up a very good point, which is that, yeah, if you were a director and you're like, oh, I'm like, my creativity is going to be how do I bring this scenario to life? But your creativity is not going to be you coming up with something new or fresh. It's just going to be here. There's already a blueprint.
Yep.
Don't F this up.
Yeah, exactly. And is that really creativity? Right? I guess there's some creativity in it.
Yeah.
But there's not that much creativity. It's already kind of been given to you. You just have to polish it up, make it look good in action, right?
So, yeah, and I'm sure I'm sure there's skill to that. But yeah,
for sure.
You bring up a very good point. And I mean, it's also a testament to, I mean, and I think this is, you know, Western business and Eastern business, you know, anywhere across the board. But, you know, in some ways they're like, do we want to invest on this anime that we know that the manga is amazing and all you have to do is do this? And you might make a mistake or two, but if you follow the blueprint, the money's there.
Right.
Or this guy that has this crazy idea, you know, about whatever, this wacky story that no one's ever heard of. Are people going to like it even? We don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just like the whole, like just
playing it safe.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and they're like, well, this will work.
Yeah.
Chances are in our favor.
Yeah.
But yeah, but anyways, it's, that was, you know, those kind of go hand in hand. Actually, I might just go ahead and read some of the other ones. Cause it's kind of funny. Oh wow, I got to take off my glasses. That's wild. It's ever since I hit like 40. It's like I got to take off my glasses. Yeah, to read like small print.
Yeah.
but it's fine. You know, I mean, it's like I can see. It's like your, what do you call it? Your perception on, you know, when it's really small and it's up close. It's no longer. I can just wear my glasses and it's not a big deal. Same thing with my cell phone.
Really?
I'm guessing that hasn't happened to you.
No,
and
not
I hope
yet.
it doesn't.
No, not yet.
'Cause now maybe that's another. Maybe this was God's way of saying, well, you know, you don't play mobile games anyways, so you'll be all right. Because could you imagine just one day you wake up and then you're like, I gotta take off my glasses.
Yeah, I can't
Now,
imagine that.
And then I got to put them back on. Yeah, and it's only stuff. It's only stuff that's up close. But anyways, but just like some of the other things after, you know, like I said, you know, you're here for anime. Well, what are the things that follow after that? So, manga fan is like right up there, and then PC gamer, casual gamer, console gamer. And I don't really remember, because I remember going through it. I don't, you know, doing the survey, I don't remember like what is their distinction for what is a casual gamer.
Yeah.
But and then right after console gamer, right underneath console gamer is hentai fan, doujinshi fan, J-pop fan, gotcha gamer, which I remember I just told you what a gotcha gamer is.
Yeah.
Mobile games gamer.
What's hentai?
I am. You know what I'll do?
You went over that quickly.
You know what I'll do? I'll do this. Vocaloid fan, sports fan. But actually,
You're good.
But actually, we might come back to that. Of course, yeah, I'm not going deep into that. Not pause. But anyways, you know, the things that are at the very bottom are
they come up to number 5. 4 or 5? That was number.
Wait, let's see. Oh, wait, hang on.
Oh.
So 3, 4. Yep, that was 5th place.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what's all the way at the bottom. So, convention dealer is the absolute bottom.
Oh, wow.
Parent of an anime fan. You're a voice actor, which I mean, that's not surprising. Convention staff. Yeah, I'm not surprised these are really low. But anyways,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you say parent of an anime fan, yeah, I get that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because then that would mean you'd be taking this, and I'm just assuming anyways, that would almost be like you're an anime fan, but the closest thing that like you're doing this is also because your kid's really into anime, which I think in some ways that could be dependent on who is actually doing the survey. Because I think now, especially at Anime Oklahoma, I think that's going to be more of a thing now, where in Anime Oklahoma's case, there are a lot of parents with their kids going to it. So this was a more, I guess you could say, family friendly oriented, where it has a demographic. And like I told you, it was cheaper than other conventions too.
Gotcha.
But anyways, I just, sometimes, we briefly touched on this maybe an episode or two ago, but sometimes when you look at statistics, a lot of times, unfortunately, it's used against us, used against minorities.
Yeah.
I think in this case, this to me is more insightful. And like I said, some of it's fun, but I mean, I'm just the kind of person that I like just learning more about yourself, like from a objective standpoint. Because I mean, we all have biases towards ourselves, and we feel like, oh, I'm a good person, I do this, do that. But just sometimes with some data, it's just informative. You just learn things about yourself. And that's why
and I'm okay with those type of statistics. For sure. Yeah.
Right. So that's why, that's what really intrigued me about it. Because I mean, just even there was like at the panel, there was a part where he was just talking about the type of people that like isekais, which if you don't, for anyone that doesn't know what an isekai
Let's say,
is,
please explain what an isekai is.
it's the anime which it's the genre of anime that's been popular at say the past maybe 4 or 5 years, where it's the whole like, oh, I got sucked into a video game world. That's essentially what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's been pretty popular the past 4 or 5 years. Now I will say this because I mean I participated in this because that was one of the questions when I did this year's survey, and I'm pretty neutral on that. But there is a strong demographic of anime fans that do not like that genre, and it's not because it's bad, but it's because just like anything, just like music, just like movies, just in my opinion, just like the comic book movies that that really exploded. You just get oversaturated with stuff, and then people it gets a backlash. Then people are like, I'm sick of this now.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I'm sick of DC. I'm sick of Marvel. I'm not saying that's what I feel, but you get what I'm saying.
He's not saying that.
I am not
at all.
saying that. But using that as an example.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
But that's one of the genres that, like I said, some people are just really they're sick of because there's so many of them. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
And they'll there'll be shows that are trying new things. They get one season, they get axed, just like a Netflix scenario.
Yep.
But then they're gonna, the 10th isekai for the season just got renewed, and then just stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just I get it, but I'm still pretty neutral. Like to me, it's going to be harder and harder to come up with original ideas. I mean, in any form of media, in any genre of music. So to me, it's just like, just make it good. I don't expect you to just come up with like, this is some shit no one's seen before. You don't have to do. You don't
Please
have.
don't do that.
You don't have to wow me every time. You know. You don't have to do that. But let's see if I can.
Yeah, I did not even know that was a genre of anime. I don't think I've ever seen an isekai. If that's the case, like what's one that might be on Netflix that I could watch?
Oh, they're like here's one that people used to dog because it's kind of how do I describe it? It got pretty popular, and then I don't think it's a bad show, but Sword Art Online, like that was a really popular one a couple of years ago, and they've came out with a couple of games even. Yeah. And to me, some of those games, I'm like, damn, that looks so good. I am gonna check that out. But it's kind of one of those anime where I guess I don't know what it is like. Because, I mean, people don't really, like, make fun of Dragon Ball fans, but sometimes they'll make fun of Sword Art Online. I don't know. It might be because it was one of those isekais that just really blew up. But
Dragon Ball is not an isekai, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was just, like, more, like, puzzle. Like, it's not like it's I don't think it's, like, a terrible show. Maybe it's kind of generic, I guess.
Gotcha.
But anyways, like I think I've seen the first 2 seasons, but it's not something that's in my top 20. Like, you know what I mean? But but whatever. But I would say probably one of the isekais, which like I said, a lot of them, are pretty new. So there's not really one I could say that I was like, okay, this one was really awesome. But I would say probably the one I really liked, which is not serious at all. So going in a completely different direction than Sword Art Online, Konosuba. And I wouldn't be surprised if you hadn't heard of that one, but it's off the rails. And some people might consider a little controversial, but it's a hilarious show.
Gotcha.
It's a very hilarious show.
Konosuba.
Yeah.
And it's on Netflix?
I don't know. But yeah, that's a pretty.
Where could I get it if it wasn't on Netflix?
If it's not on Netflix, it's definitely on Crunchyroll because I watched it on there. Yeah,
gotcha.
But yeah, that's a pretty off the rails show, and one of those shows where it's just constantly funny. just
Gotcha.
continuous from beginning to end. But I'm sure there's another one, and it's totally escaping me now. There's probably a couple of them I'm cool with. I'm actually like I said, I'm okay with Sword Art Online.
I'm gonna have to check one out. Either one of those. Kind of get a feel, see what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah. And let's see. Oh, ironically enough, one of the things was, do anime fans have a fear of missing out? That just caught my eye. This wasn't one of the things I was going to talk about. But hold on. So I'll read this real quick. The fear of missing out is the belief that others are enjoying or having positive experiences that one is missing out on. And then we adapted a single item measure. I often feel like I am missing out of this construct and administer to anime fans. As shown below, a majority of fans indicate that they do experience a fear of missing out. Further research may delve more into this phenomenon, including figuring out what precisely anime fans may fear missing out on. So, like from a 1 to 7 scale, 1 strongly disagree to 7 strongly agree. It's the percentage is really high. Is most people picked 5.
Gotcha.
So I would say that's kind of high.
Yeah.
That a lot of people are feeling they have that phenomenon.
I don't like the definition of FOMO though, of how they use it. Because if it's like enjoyable, then I should not be FOMOing work whatsoever.
And you know what though? I will say this. I mean, I think when most people they do use it in terms of okay, I'm not gonna get that game. I'll save my money. And then I'll play it next month. And then that's mostly when people use the scenario is it's something like a toy or a vacate, or like I said, maybe I'm trying to just think of something. I'm not gonna even pay attention to that OU game.
Yeah. Well,
and then all of a sudden you miss out and you're like, I can't believe this. The one I don't go to.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But okay, so here's one that I was really interested in, or I found fascinating. Do anime fans watch anime as a form of escapism? And so we adapted 4 items from prior research to assess positive and negative forms of escapism. 2 items assess self-expansion, as in I watch anime to try to get to know myself better, and then self-suppression. I watch anime to escape from reality. From 1 to 7, 1 strongly disagree, 7 to strongly agree. And it appears that for the most part, people are really close. It's almost close to a 5. Not quite a 5. It's like 4.9 what I'm looking at. So
gotcha.
And self-expansion.
That's of the escapism.
So self-suppression is the one that's almost at a 5, and self-expansion is like 4.3, I guess. So more people are feeling more of they watch anime to escape.
Yeah.
I see
that. I see that. I don't know.
Yeah, that.
Where would you be at on that line?
I guess it would definitely be more of an escape for me. I would say probably, now I will say this, and I don't know if it sounds crazy or it doesn't, but I would say, I think for me it makes sense, but like in terms of music, I think it's the opposite. I think for me, music, it is the expansion part.
Gotcha.
And especially of course I listen to dumb shit, right?
Yeah.
But I would say the music that really resonates with me, the stuff that I really connect with, it's the stuff that I am trying to expand my horizons,
Gotcha.
Trying to make myself a better person, or I'm re-examining whatever, the bad things in me or whatever.
Right.
But So I would say probably with anime, yeah, it's probably more of an escapism thing.
Gotcha.
I don't think and like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think specifically with anime, I don't think I'm trying to improve myself or learn a lesson or, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not saying that, like, if you do that because some people, maybe they do, they watch whatever it is. They watch a Marvel movie or they watch a TV series and they are trying to examine things about themselves and say, oh, is that how people see me?
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Now, one that was now, and I won't spend much time on this one, but there was one where they asked about, watching anime, does this encourage you to go to Japan? And then they kind of had categories where it was like, does this encourage you to visit Japan? And then does it encourage you to learn more about Japanese culture? And then the last one was a step further. Does this encourage you to learn Japanese? And actually, the first two are really, really close. So I mean, they're a little they're like 5.1. So, but the actual one about learning Japanese, that one's definitely much lower than the other two. So the other two, like, I guess you could say most anime fans, they want to at least visit Japan. They at least want to learn more about Japanese culture, but actually learning Japanese, that is definitely much lower.
That's a hard language, man.
I would say definitely, the kanji and stuff.
That's hard.
That's dedication.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not. Yes. I can't remember what it was. I want to say, I remember reading somewhere that to be at a 6th grade level, I think you have to know like 1,000 characters.
Oh wow! So you're saying there's 6th graders know 1,000 characters?
That really stuck with me when I read that, because I was like, well,
are you smarter than a 6th grader? Nope, not in Japan. Not in Japan. Definitely not.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's tough.
Right? No, it is. It is.
Man.
And
but I can tell you right now.
No, go ahead.
I'm left-handed, right-brained, so language is not my strong suit. Like, I took Spanish in high school, and I can understand more than I can speak, and it wasn't hard for me. I guess I just was not motivated to like dig deep into it. And my mom, she can literally, like, she's bilingual.
Mm-hmm.
She can have a conversation with a Hispanic person, like, and not miss a beat. There's some things that she probably wouldn't like. She'd understand that concept, but not really understand like the true translation. So, but
yeah, you're gonna run into that,
she can talk it and be perfectly fine.
And I think that's also the aspect of it too, is that there has to be a level of dedication to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember there used to be one of these YouTubers that I used to watch probably a couple years back. I think the guy had an illness or something and he passed away, but he was like a polyglot.
What is that?
Someone that like speaks, I don't know what the exact number is, but it's like
multiple different languages.
Yes,
gotcha.
It's a lot. And but and there were some people, like not just him, but like there's like this is a whole subsection of YouTube or whatever.
Gotcha.
Just these guys that will go to restaurants or whatever.
Oh,
and
I've seen them.
And they'll speak the language. Yeah.
Yep.
And this dude was pretty cool though. Like, I guess the absolute best one for him was Mandarin, but he was trying to learn like just, I don't know, it almost seemed like everything. He was just trying. But there were not too often, but every now and then some people were kind of criticizing him, like they felt like he was just learning like the basics, to have just a simple conversation, and then it wasn't going further than that. But I mean, but I watched like one of his really old videos where he literally was explaining, and that's when I was like, yeah, this guy is not full of crap. Because I
Right.
mean, only someone that is fascinated by this stuff would do what he was doing. And he was pretty much saying like, okay, so right now I'm learning Dutch. And he's like, this is how I do it. And he had like this little board, and then he wrote down, these are my words for the day. And he's like, right now I'm listening to, like I'll spend a couple of hours watching these Dutch shows.
Gotcha.
And then I'll listen to this music. And he was pretty much explaining that, like in order for, especially if you're learning a language and there's no one for you to practice around, he's like, you have to like, you have to be
Immerse yourself.
Absolutely. That's even better choice of words. Yeah. You have to immerse yourself in it.
Yeah.
And because, that's the only way you're going to get used to hearing the words and breaking them down and translating it in your head.
Yep.
And, but when I saw like the dedication, like how much effort, because I mean, he had it really broken down. Like, here's my words for the day. Here's this, I'm going to watch this show for whatever 2 hours, and then I'm going to do this. And I'm like, that is a lot of,
Yeah,
like, so you're saying he's just doing that to just
For-
BS his way.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's way easier stuff he could do if he just wanted to pull your chain. You know what I mean?
He'd be using Rosetta Stone.
It's like he's clearly doing this because he likes learning the languages.
Yeah,
he likes
it's a love.
He likes talking to different people. Going back to what you were saying, exposing yourself to, different cultures, different people, different locations.
Yep.
He enjoyed doing that. And but anyways,
That's cool.
yeah. But yeah, I did not know that about your mom though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
She pisses me off. Like, no, like, I'm like, how, what, how? But that's what she did. She immersed herself into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And like the people that she hung out with, there was a lot of people that were Hispanic and spoke Spanish. And it was like, I'm going to learn this. And, she took it in high school too. And, didn't need it very much. So it wasn't something, but like she didn't have a book. She literally just had conversations.
And to me, that's
Just sat in on conversations, listen, ask questions. And, she had the foundation to say a lot of the words, right? Because she took Spanish in school. But yeah, and that's all it took. And I was like, I remember going over to her house one time and she was talking to one of her friends and my mouth just dropped because it was only like a few months and she was just having a conversation. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I would
awesome.
love that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I wish my Spanish was better. But going back to what you just said, like that is what it is that you have to put time. Really with anything in life, you have to put work and effort into stuff. You're not gonna. Some stuff you cannot half-ass and just be like,
Exactly.
This will come together at some point. Maybe by the time I'm 30, I'll speak it fluently. No, you got to actually dedicate yourself to it.
Yep, for sure. And do you think that there's certain languages that are harder than others? Or do you think like me telling you that I'm left-handed, right brain? Like I feel like all languages are hard, but I would put like Mandarin and Japanese like at the top of the list, right? How do you feel about that?
So I do think that like I would say so the first thing I'll say is this, and I mean this will kind of open it up a little bit. Like if there's two languages I could learn, it would definitely be Spanish and Japanese.
Yeah.
Now, so like going to your question now, like as far as like Japanese and like what you said, Chinese, I think, or specifically Mandarin, I think it's kind of one of those things, going back to your mom, like if it's something you want to do, and I think if you're exposed to it more, like in my case, like I said, I've been watching subtitled anime since I was about 17.
Yeah.
And I think like I can definitely break down the words more, whereas to some people, if you're just hearing it for the first time, it just sounds like I don't even hear where the word is at.
Yeah.
Or I don't hear where, is it multiple words or is this just one long thing?
Yeah.
And I definitely can, I can hear the distinction. And then, because, I even know some people, they might not be able to say like difference between Cantonese and Mandarin and,
Yeah.
and Japanese and Korean. They may think they all sound the same.
Yeah.
Which
but
they definitely don't.
They do not. Even I do know that.
Right.
There's
right.
different dialect.
Yes.
And, yeah, for sure.
So I think, but yeah, I think there probably is a language that's harder than others. I think that language is probably the one that has the biggest alphabet, and I have no idea which one. I'm just kind of like, but yeah, I don't know what that is. I am sure that same dude I was just talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was one of his videos, but
Yeah.
that was years ago, so I have no idea what he said was the hardest one. But he might have even said maybe it depends on what language is your first language.
Oh, okay.
It's because I think he was saying that like if Spanish is your first language,
Yeah.
it's going to be similar to other languages, so
Yep.
it'll be easier for you to learn
French.
it'll be easier for you to learn those other languages.
Yep.
But if you're starting from somewhere else, you could be faced with more challenges, But like I said,
Italian. Sorry, that's what I meant, not French. Spanish and Italian are very close. Mm-hmm. Very close.
and Portuguese.
And
we'll say there's similarities. I won't make it seem like it's just like
exactly.
it's a one-to-one translation or anything. But
you're right. Yep.
But yeah, because there's sometimes like especially my dad, he's watched some movies and they're speaking Portuguese, and then there's parts where it might sound like Spanish, and then there's sections where I'm like, whoa, I don't know what that part was.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That going back to that whole you hear something and I'm like, I don't know if that was one complete sentence or if that was just one long word. I don't know.
No, for real. Sorry, I don't mean to go off, but
No, you're good.
I was listening to this Spanish song, and the guy was playing it, and I started singing with it. He's like, "Oh, you know this song?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I know this song." And we had a conversation, and I told him, I was like, "Dude, it's so funny because when I was younger, I was really dumb, and I remember being in summer camp, JROTC summer camp, and there was some Hispanic dudes, and they were listening to this music, and they're like, oh yeah, this is a good song right here. Listen to this." And I'm listening to it, and it was just I have no idea. The beat was cool. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, it was like a rap song. I was like, does it sound fast to y'all? How do you understand what they're it was I was so stupid and young and naive. I was like, it sounds so fast to me. Does it sound that fast to y'all when you listen to it? They just laughed at me no, bro, not at all. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. And so I'm telling them this, and I was like, then I get into college, and I'm dating this Hispanic girl, and I start listening to, and I was taking Spanish at the time in college. I was like, dude, I didn't immerse myself into Spanish music, but I listened to a lot of it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of it, and the more and more I listened to it, whether it was a show or a song, it slowed down. I could understand every word they were saying. And I feel that was the maturity. That was yeah, it made sense to me. The more and more you listen to it, the better your ear is in tune to what you're listening to. Right? If I was to go over to Japan and listen to somebody speak first right off the bat, it's oh, whoa. Right? Even though I don't know what they're saying, but it just sounds like a lot of syllables being put together, right?
Yeah.
But if I was to live over there over time, I would like even I might not completely understand everything, but
Yeah.
it would slow down for me. I guess using the word
No.
slow down is kind of yeah.
No, that makes sense. You know, so the young version of you was pretty much like, "Whoa, is this the Latino Twista?"
And they're like, "You're dumb," without saying you're dumb, but they just gave me this look like, "Really, bro?"
No, but I do like the. Does it sound like he's going fast to y'all? I like that.
Yeah. So that was a little naive moment of myself, but anyways, go ahead.
I mean, that's how you learn though.
Yeah, that really
I mean,
is.
you have to ask questions.
Yep.
But yeah, I was just gonna let's see if there was any. I know there's one up here that I was gonna go through real quick, but like okay, so even like there's like I said, there's a couple of controversial stuff that the survey mentioned, but here's one of them, and this is more controversial in a sense of not. I mean, I guess you could say it's still real life, but I mean, this is more like in relation to anime. But anyway, so. And I want to say, was this on the survey that I did? I think it was.
Does it deal with hentai?
No. But
Sorry.
but anyways,
Just being funny.
It's what are fans' perception of women in anime and its influence?
Pretty damn close.
And what's that?
I said pretty damn close.
So,
go ahead.
So what, so I'm going to go ahead and read this. So we asked fans whether they believe that the portrayal of women in anime is unrealistic or whether anime harms viewers' perception of Asian women. And, 1 strongly disagree to 7 strongly agree. And one caveat worth noting is that without comparison to how women are perceived as being portrayed in anime, i.e., in a realistic manner or not, it is impossible to state whether the unrealistic portrayal of women is unique to women in anime. Moreover, it should be noted that it is entirely possible for anime to actually have a detrimental impact on a person's perception of a group without viewers themselves being aware of this fact. So, this was a little bit like, I would say this is like a 5.25 for the portrayal of women in anime is unrealistic. And then anime harms viewers' perception of Asian women. This was like a 4. So that was one thing that I found, like I said, really interesting.
So they strongly disagreed with a 5 on the first question.
No. They agree.
Oh, they strongly agree.
So yeah, so from a 1 to 7 scale, they're saying it's 5.25 that the portrayal of women in anime is unrealistic.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then
I can see that.
And then they're saying anime harms viewers' perception of Asian women. That isn't as high, but it's a 4.
Gotcha.
On a 1 to 7 scale.
Gotcha. 1 being completely disagree, 7 being completely agree with the question. So
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? That is kind of controversial.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And so I think that it's like, and of course this is something that that could go pretty deep into, but I think there's a lot of aspects to this, or a lot of nuance, I should say. So there has been, I would say, especially within the anime community, there's definitely people that don't like fan service, or they pretty much like what this is saying. They feel like the portrayal, which I'm assuming they mean like maybe like body proportions.
That's exactly what they're talking about, I think. I mean, that's the first thing that pops in my head. I correct myself. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing that pops in my head. Mm-hmm. Maybe not for everybody else, but I'm obviously, gravitating towards like the body proportions. like how the characters are depicted,
Yeah, yeah.
not necessarily, what they're doing or saying. So, but go ahead.
So I think that, it's one thing to like, and this is part of the reason why I do like, looking at data like this, because there's parts of like, even like someone will look at that from the outside and they'll question the portions and stuff, right? But the funny thing, even if you pick like, because like I said, that's why anime is not a genre. There's genres within anime. It's just like, like we watching our movies,
Right.
and our TV shows. It's like anime isn't one genre. There's multiple genres within anime.
Gotcha.
But even if you pick like the really tacky anime, just really trash anime, because it definitely exists. But it's like, even if you pick that, and like I said, totally get why some people might take offense to that. But if you pick those shows, if you compare like what actually happens, like let's say in terms of like the relationship between the man and the woman, we go way harder in the paint all day, every day than any anime. I'll give you an example.
Go ahead.
We've seen thousands of these. Dude goes to a bar, and we're talking about PG-13 show.
Yeah.
Dude goes to a bar. He talks to some girl. And then they say 3 words to each other.
And now they're in the bed.
Close.
Go ahead.
I was going to be even going more than that. They're like not even in the door yet. And they're just like tongue
Sucking
down.
face.
Yes. And then we've seen that scene a million times where there's stuff on the table. They knock all the stuff off the table.
Yeah.
They throw the girl on the table.
Yep.
Like, so I guarantee you, if we go to that same like trashy anime, what do you think is going to happen? So it can take 15 minutes for an American show or movie to get to that point. The joke in anime within the anime community is you could have a couple hook up, and at the very end of the season, they hold hands.
Gotcha.
So to me, it's really, it's kind of fascinating, because it's like on one end, some people might look at one thing and say, that's going too far. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But then some people might look at us and say, damn, you couldn't even get through the door, son? You didn't even make it to the bed? They're just animals.
Hard,
they're just animals in America. They're just straight animals. They can't control themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
sure.
Perception is reality, though.
Yeah,
It's just,
I like your analogy of that and depicting the two.
And I will say this: I'm not saying that one is the right way or the wrong way. It's just totally different cultures and how they see things. And because I think, most Americans would say, I mean, we're having fun here. I'm supposed to be entertained because that looks cool. That looks fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's awesome. We know that relationships really don't happen like that. And then some people are like, well,
I'm trying to get there because I see it on the movies.
Right. There you go. So, and I think sometimes the same can be said with anime, where it's like, yeah, no shit. It's not supposed to look realistic.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be over the top. And some people are like, yeah, I want that over the top stuff.
Right.
Again, going back to, escapism. This isn't, so it's not supposed to be realistic proportions.
Gotcha.
But like I said, I think, I just think because I've watched, I've been exposed to, foreign films, at a young age. And then, of course, like I said, mentioning anime, I remember the first time, like probably in high school, when I saw movies, that were not, American made.
Yeah.
And it's just, they show everybody in all their glory, you know what I mean? In their birthday suit. And I was just like, this is weird. And sometimes we have moments like that in, in American made shows.
Yep.
Sometimes, but they have a tendency to shy away from that.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time they're like, yeah, we don't have to go this far. We only have to simulate sex to a certain degree, and we're going to cut it right here. We're
Right.
good. You got the point. You got the point.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that it's just there's going to be different perspectives, and but with that being said, I mean, that does not mean that people aren't allowed to say, hey, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? I think that's human nature, just because you're going to see stuff and you might be like, I don't know if I really like that. Like,
Right.
just going off of the portions or whatever. Or, like
Well,
I said,
you got to look at American cartoons, right? And I mean, honestly, like anime is kind of, I wouldn't say compared to cartoons, but it is an animated story, right? In a cartoon version.
and I'll just say vastly superior, but continue.
Yeah. And I mean, and so my question is like the people that filled out this survey are they like hardcore anime watchers? Or was it like, you know, you have people that don't really watch anime all the time and they're filling this out, right? Maybe theirs is something else, right? They're there for that anime convention filling out this survey, but they're not hardcore anime watchers like you.
Yeah.
Or was it that maybe even those hardcore anime watchers, they might have scored it at like a 4, but then you have those other people, those outliers, right?
Yeah.
That might be conceptualizing this question or internalizing this question just based off of one viewpoint
Yeah.
and not looking at the totality of the picture. And then that skews kind of like the, you know, the statistic. You see what I'm, what I'm trying to get at?
Okay. So because I think what you're also saying is like, so looking at that number, that's saying that whatever it was, 5.25,
Yeah.
that some people are having a problem with that,
Right.
you know. But I think, like at least this is how I interpreted it. I think that they're acknowledging that there's a difference, but I think the second question about is a lot more specific because like if you ask me, the portrayal of women in anime is unrealistic. I would say,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that I think it's
Wrong.
irrehensible.
Disagree with it.
Right. But I do think like the second question is more specific. Like anime harms viewers' perception of Asian women, and that one is low. You know, much lower. It's at like a 4, which a 4 is still.
I feel
it's still kind of middle-ish of the road.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's a little over the
Yeah.
It's
You're right.
it.
It's a little over
by half a point.
So I think that question is probably the more serious question, which
Yeah.
I would definitely say in that case I don't agree with that one.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one either.
Yeah, because I don't think because even when I have people when I know people that watch anime, they have and I won't even say the people, but I mean lots of people.
Yeah.
You know what they tell me all the time? They're like, they don't look Japanese to me.
That's exactly what I was going to say, bro. I was just thinking like Sailor Moon. Those look like 3 white girls, bro. I kid, right? Because Sailor Moon is like, I mean, that's not comparison to a lot of the animes that you watch, but I've seen some others, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're depicting Asian people by the look. Like, when you have those bodacious women or like, the misproportioned bodies, right? It doesn't look Asian to me. I'm like, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing too, is that like I said, there's someone else I talked to about this. And so I actually feel like I do see that to me, it does look like Japanese people, but I would say more how do I put this? Obviously, I think to me, and I hate when people say this, and it's and we're talking in real life terms, so it's going to sound hokey.
Gotcha.
Because you're going to immediately relate it to real life terms, but I think when it comes to animation, I'm really not looking at like and I know you didn't even mention this, but I'm saying this, but
Right.
I don't even look at like the blonde or blue eyes or green hair. And I was going to say, I don't see color, you know, but I hate that saying. But anyways, I don't really pay attention to that part because that to me is more of a aesthetic. Because then, you know, then there's people that have purple hair and, you know, green hair. And it's like, that's not really the thing. Well, actually in 2023 it is. Anyways.
It is, yeah.
In 2023 it is. But, you know, at the time, you know, 20 years ago, I didn't see people a whole lot walking around with green hair. But anyways.
Right.
But anyways, but when I see like the hairstyles, when I see the school uniforms, when I see like just the way they're dressed and the mannerisms and stuff, to me it still feels very Japanese.
Gotcha.
But I totally get it. If dude, you know, one of the things that, and not to get like off track, but I just want to point this out because I know, especially in America, we have this like stereotype in our head that we think like Asian people in general are just small in stature or short.
Yeah.
When I went to Japan, that was not the case.
Yeah.
Because I saw women that were my height, taller, and now I will say this: I would hate to be fat and living in Japan. That would suck. Damn. Shout out to all the chubby people in Japan, because I feel your pain, because you are standing out.
Yeah.
Because it's just like nothing but skinny people there.
Wow.
Like it's, you know, there's definitely, you know, some Japanese that are overweight and stuff, but it is way less common than here.
Really?
Yes, way less common.
I think I've heard that before, but I never paid any mind to it.
Yeah, but
it is true.
That is true. But I don't agree with the height thing, because that was not my experience when you're actually walking around with, you know, a bunch of Japanese people and you see people, you know, different heights and, like I said, different way. I mean, but dude, even that's the whole reason why, like, when we were there, I could not buy. It was not happening. I was not buying a shirt.
Really?
Yeah, because and I mean, not only because of my size, but I'm saying like the way their sizes are, like in shirts and their clothes, way smaller than ours. So I'm like, triple screwed. So, because I don't know, like your size, like for your size, you'd probably have to wear like a yes, and they'd probably be like, oh, we gotta go to the big boy
extra clothing, extra material.
They're like, we're gonna have to go to the big boy size, and then they look at me and they just say no. I was like, I did not even bother. I think because
crazy.
Because I remember one of the people that I went with, she was like, I asked him, could I try it on? So I was like,
you did?
No.
Or the person that you went with?
Yeah, she was.
She asked him to try it on.
Yes.
They didn't want her to.
They were cool with it, but I mean, so she had to get like, you know, and this is not someone that's, you know, overweight or anything.
Gotcha.
But she was like, I need to make sure I don't want to buy this, and then I should have went a size bigger.
Right. Gotcha.
But yeah, but anyway,
is that common there, or is it?
I would say for Americans, yes.
Gotcha.
It's
I mean, in their culture, is it common for people to try on clothes before they buy them?
That I have no idea.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was pretty funny. But no, but yeah, like I said, that question, you know, that was still interesting and introspective, and I've thought about like sometimes highlighting, you know, topics like that on my channel, but it's also one of those things like, you know, you have to be careful when you open Pandora's box.
Mm-hmm. Which is very true.
But that is definitely...
we have nothing to worry about here. We've already opened it.
Yes. Yes.
This is a free space.
But yeah, so like I said, that's, like I said, but the bottom line with all that is just that I don't think there's really any right or wrong. I mean, I think with any place, with any culture, there's going to be flaws. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, and I always try to just look at things and hear what other people have to say as well, even if I don't agree with it.
Right.
Especially, that's one thing I would like to hear more of. Going back to what you just mentioned, people that are into anime as much as I do, and hear how what would be their approach to a question like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely not on your level or even close to it. So, and even in my answer to that question, I was only looking at it from, one aspect and not taking it into totality. That's why I said what I said. But it makes sense the way you put it, as far as like, well, it is fantasy, so it's not supposed to be,
Yeah.
the way that it's not what you would see in the world on a day to day. It's supposed to be different than that. But I think a lot of people, and like not even talking about the people that took this survey, because I feel like all those people are on your level. So why did it get scored so high?
But remember, that's
for the second one.
For the second one. Yeah, so that's, like I said, that's, like you said, it's a little past the middle, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm also one that's like, I would like to hear that perspective. Why? And I would say this now, if we heard that perspective on the people that it affects, and they're like, well, let me tell you some stories I've experienced.
Yeah.
Good job, anime. You made my life a lot harder, or whatever. I shouldn't jest about it, but you get what I'm saying. Like, if I heard those stories or whatever, maybe it would be totally different for me.
Right.
Maybe it would give me some insight, because that is something I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting, for sure. Was there any outside of your controversial questions, like on that survey, was there anything else that was like really eye opening based off of like the responses to the questions that you went through?
Well, there was this one that I saw that was a little surprising. Now, here, I'll just go ahead and read it to you first. So, we asked fans how frequently they consume alcohol. The results show the results show that a majority do not drink frequently. And then it also says in brackets, like, of course, we're presenting data that's from 21 years of age and older.
Gotcha.
But so the single most common category was for fans to not drink at all, a number reflecting broader societal trends in North America for younger people to be less and less likely to drink or consume drugs in recent generations, which I don't know if that's, that sounds, to me, it seems like, like what I hear. Of course, we do live in Oklahoma, but anyways,
Yeah.
but you made a face just like the first time I saw this. I was like,
huh?
So we're saying that, and I'm going to read that again. A number reflecting broader societal trends in North America for younger people to be less and less likely to drink or consume drugs in recent generations. And I had that same face that you're making right now. I was like, is that?
I don't. I'm at a loss for words.
And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. Do you do?
I don't know if I don't agree with. I don't think I agree with that. Like,
Now I will say that you know, whatever, of course I don't have kids or anything, so
yeah,
I don't have like some kind of barometer to not even just like my own kid, but then seeing the friends and stuff like that. And I can't just say, oh yeah, every last one of them have tried this or did that, or they look like this kind of kid or whatever. I don't have anything to draw comparisons from, but that's interesting that they would say that like younger generations are leaning away from both of those things.
yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't, but I'm only looking at it from our state like perspective. Like,
Right.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not. I'm not sure.
My
I
view
agree
is
either.
my view is so narrowed.
What the people that, not necessarily the people around you, but I mean, it stems from that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure. I feel like yeah, I don't agree with that. I wonder where they're getting their information from to make that statement, and is it based off of the responses from the question?
Yes.
Or
yes.
So
Yeah.
what was the number that was given, or was it just
So on this one, it was done in percentages. So this was, I want to say 32% of people said never.
32% of people said they've never, and this is for 21 and up, only were able to
Never.
answer this question. They've never done
Sure.
drugs or alcohol.
Yes. And then, or I'm sorry,
That's why.
I'm sorry, specifically, it was alcohol. Sorry.
Oh, just alcohol.
Just alcohol.
Gotcha.
So, but the part where even me and you got thrown off on
Yeah.
was that they mentioned the part like this is going into societal trends where younger generations are drinking less and doing drugs less. They did throw that in there at the end. But yeah, this main question is about alcohol. So, like I said, 32% say never. And then the second place one is, it looks like it's 27%, and it says less than once a month. And then after that, third place is 21%, 1 to 3 times a month. And then it just keeps getting lower from there.
Gotcha.
But that percentage of people that it's well, let's say let's look at, okay, so 1 to 2 times per week. That is at like 11%. 1 to 2 times per week.
I hope that's true.
Huh?
I would hope that this is true, right?
Right.
But I don't know if that's accurate.
And
I see that their responses are true, right? But I'd like
we do have to also add this layer to it to keep it in perspective. So this is people that are anime fans.
Gotcha.
So it's not, so even I have to think about that, like, okay, this isn't just talking about like young people in general.
Right.
So it's just the young people that would be going to an anime convention. So
this is the fix to drugs and alcohol in our younger generation.
Just give them anime.
Just give them anime.
With bad proportions. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh man, just give them anime. I mean, so yeah, you're right. I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take that stereotype and compound it, right? Because in my head I was thinking, well, these are just anime kids, so they're
that's exactly. Now, because I would definitely say like, a significant portion. Now, I will say this before I even finish my thought, that anime is way more popular than it was like when we were
growing up.
Yeah. So, I mean, because I did not know a lot of people. Like, when I found someone in high school
Yeah.
that I was gonna say the name, but I won't say the person's name. But I remember I bumped into this girl that was in band, and she had I think it was Slayers I think it was like a belt or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. Where'd you get
Eyes
that?
got a little wide.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, where'd you get that? And then I was like, me and you, we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
You don't even know it, but we're gonna be friends.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it was like if I ever saw anything like that, which was extremely rare. We didn't rare because I mean we didn't have Etsy and all these other places where you could just have a shirt made or have have like little accessories like that, or go to a store that's selling stuff like that. Like that was not the thing back then.
No, for sure.
It was not to be corny and use the phrase, but it was definitely more underground.
Yeah.
For sure. But anyways, I totally lost my train of thought.
We were talking about alcohol and kids.
Alcohol and kids.
And basically, like, anime is becoming more popular. It wasn't as popular when we were older.
Yeah.
But I kind of get the trend. I would hope that the statistics are true. And I guess what I'm thinking is like, okay, well, I'm looking at, I was going to ask you, like, a large majority of the people that you hang with, they are into the same thing that you are. They like anime, they like video games, and they're older, right? So do you think maybe, and I know that they're drinkers, right? No, I'm not saying alcoholics, but they drink.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. No,
so
everything you're saying is true.
Maybe the actual age that was participating in this was just young enough to where maybe they haven't experienced life to want to drink. It really doesn't have to do with anime.
No, that's a no,
they haven't been tainted yet.
And I like how you know how you were like, if this is true, good, that's great. But you're like, maybe they haven't. No, but I think really you're the first thing you brought up. I think that was a very valid point, and you were like, I'm not trying to stereotype. I actually agree with you on that. That typically. And that's totally what I was going to say. I just had a brain dead moment. But anime fans, I would say for the most part, are nerdier. So I would definitely, like I said, it is way more popular now. So, I mean, there will be, what nerdier people would say, normies. There are more normies that, watch anime. I mean, the same now, on a way bigger scale, video games, like, my dad still is from that generation where, he thinks of Revenge of the Nerds when he thinks of video games. Mm-hmm. He thinks of that kid with the thick glasses, typing on a computer. Like, that's his image of playing video games. He sees it as a nerd thing. And it's like, that is not the case anymore. Like, there's
hop on the boat.
Yeah, there's. It's not too late, but it's just it's a it's just like now it's no different than watching sports. You know what I mean? It's huge. Everybody does it.
Yeah,
everybody does it now. Like I said, some people maybe they're just playing games on their phones. Some people they might just have a PC. They may play just one game, but they have that one game and that's their thing. And you can't touch them on that. And I think now I would say people like, wait, what did you say?
COD. Call of Duty.
Yeah. And there's going to be, I would say people like me are definitely less common. Someone that's trying to get all the systems, that's buying, I don't know, 30 to 40 games a year.
Yeah.
I don't think most people are doing that. But, and then there's, like I said, people that way surpass me. They're like, I want to get all the PlayStation games and just have a collection. And it's like, are you going to play all those games? No. But I want to own them all. Okay.
All right, bro.
Good luck. But no, I would say a lot of the fan base, I would definitely say most of them are, especially I think the ones that go to conventions.
Yeah.
I would definitely say most of them are on the nerdy side. So there is that slant too. So that might be even what stems from the the criticism of maybe it can cause a problem for whether it's the proportions, or it's like this could cause a warped perception of how people see Asian women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be that. I don't want to say like hypersensitive, but like just trying to say like, hey, if people watch this thing, it could warp how they see things or how Japan is or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think, especially, since maybe when you're younger, I guess maybe that could happen to you. But I mean, being an adult, I mean, I know that it's fiction,
Right.
and so I don't even think, because there was even something I saw a while back, that even the way they talk in anime is still not like one to one, like, oh yeah, that's how people talk in Japan. You know what I mean? It's a show.
Right.
That would be like saying like Americans talk like how Tony Stark talks or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like if you were from another country and you based everything off of Marvel movies, and you're like, yeah, that's what happens. You go to a bar and then you knock the stuff off the table. That's just how it happens. It's wild in America. They just do some wild. And then, like you said, there, and then there's some people like, well, we're trying to get there, but
Yeah. Deplorable.
yeah.
Oh man.
But
Well, that's cool. No, I guess it popped in my head when you were talking. Like, I heard that panel that we went to when I went to the convention with you in Dallas. Like, I can't like not unhear that and what they said. And like,
wait, which part? Remind me again. I know it was a wild panel, but
yeah, just about the story about the party.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So then I'm
following.
taking that scenario and like understanding as a human probably what played out and what led up to it and all that stuff. And like, people aren't drinking anymore that watching anime. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Like,
I just heard multiple, like, yeah, there was definitely alcohol involved in this.
And then also you know me, that I drink, and like you said, we're not talking about being a raging alcoholic, but we're like, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm like, if you already when I saw that survey, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna say never.
Maybe never today.
Wait, where's the never today option? I like that. Never today. But yeah, that's not like I said. Like I said, I kind of made the same facial expression you did. I was like, okay. And I didn't realize that we were going in that trajectory, that we were headed in this direction where people are doing it less and less, doing less drugs and doing less alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome if we are in that direction.
I agree.
Good job, young kids.
Mm-hmm.
Make me feel like shit. Should have started watching anime earlier. Damn it. No, but
you saying it that way just reminds me of when I talked about, I was like, oh, this is hard to say, $80, and you were like, you made it out. I'm proud of you.
Don't look back, bro. Don't look back. Yeah. So,
but no, but anyways, I know that we've gone on to this part for way too long, but
no,
but it's been fun. But
no, for sure.
But yeah, so there, and like I said, there's other stuff I'm totally leaving out, but I'll try to leave a link in the description showing where the website for these scientists are, and it'll show the results from it's from like several years they've been doing this. So
yeah.
And like I said, I think they just finished up with 2023, which that's the one that I participated in, but the results aren't back for that one, at least as far as I know. So, But anyways, I'll leave a link for that if anyone's curious to look more into it. But like I said, I just find stuff like that interesting.
Yeah.
Even if, like I said, perfect example was that second question. I was like, I don't really agree with that, but I would still be curious to hear someone's story about it or why they feel that way.
For sure.
And maybe it could be based off of experience. I have no idea.
Could have been one of those parents of 8 of anime fans. Scored it super high. Jacked up the statistics. So, which can happen.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But fun times.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else?
No, I think, like I said, it was all over the place, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. So.
Which anime convention did you take this survey at?
So the panel was at Anime Fest, which was, the
one
that you
that
came
I went to.
Yeah, the panel was on Sunday, but I didn't take the survey. It was until much later. It was like maybe the first week in September when I took the survey. So I took it at home. I just went to the website.
But it was given to all the people that went there, or did you have to actually go to a website and fill it out yourself?
Yeah, I had to go to the website. Now I know what you're getting confused at, because there was a part where I was saying that. So I believe it was 2022. It might have actually. They were doing it by hand. Yeah, they were doing it there. Like, here you go, fill this out.
Gotcha.
So they didn't do that this time. They were just.
I guess that's what stuck in my brain. Is like you were there and you were doing a survey.
Yeah. So the time that I went on Sunday, it was just them giving the panel and showing all the data from 2022, and it was pretty cool because he actually got a little more detailed and explained some things. Like I said, bringing up the isekai thing, and he was translating to that to where the whole escapism thing, what people are looking for, what type of people, like as far as anime fans, like what type of people might be attracted to that and why are they attracted to that. And I don't think this survey went into it, but the one that I took, but I want to say the one that he was talking about, it was even talking about like, do you feel lonely, or are you happily single, or are you happily married, all this kind of stuff, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it was going through stuff like that, and I mean, he was breaking that stuff down, like, based off of, if you come from this situation, you might like this kind of show, or if you like this kind of show, here's the reasons why you like it. It's because, you might have this type of experience or whatever, and that's the type of stuff that attracts you to, like, oh, this is my thing.
My jam. What's that question on that survey? Are you single, married, happily, whatever?
I think so, but but I would say there were parts of it that were. I'm trying to think of how it worded. It to me, and this could have been on both years, so I might be mixing up stuff. To me, this one, the one that I took, was kind of focusing more on, when within the community, do you feel like you have friends within the community, or do you feel like an outsider?
Gotcha.
And then when you do when you watch anime, are you watching it by yourself, or are you with people, or are you with friends? And then it was, do you have friends,
Yeah.
or do you not have friends, just all those things. But yeah, so like I said, it was a little, with the panel, it was a little more introspective. And like I said, I just like looking at stuff like that, just to see even stuff I may not even be aware of, like that here's this reason why I'm attracted to certain type of anime. Because I know even in my case, like, I mean, I definitely know some of the reasons why I'm attracted to the shows that I like, but I know that a lot of the shows that I'm attracted to are not necessarily the most popular.
Gotcha.
And not because of that, but just the most popular shows are the ones that have a lot of action and stuff like that. But I've kind of, after you see, and we talked about that before, if you watch it so long, you need something to change it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just purely just watching action and fighting and stuff.
Exactly. Taking a little break. Yeah.
For me, it was a permanent break. No.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, no, it's. Oh, but yeah, so that and exactly like what I just mentioned, like that just came out my Final Fantasy 16 review. Like I said, hopefully I didn't ruffle any feathers with that, but it'll be.
You probably did. I know, like there's some diehard, like
that are into a certain
crap about Final Fantasy or whatever they're into, like hard, right?
And really, I didn't.
How dare you walk away from it?
and really, I was pretty much good on that. But like I said, we'll I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it another time.
Yeah,
it'll be hilarious. But it was still. I probably put a little too much effort into that video. You know, I just sometimes you run out of ideas, and then sometimes you keep coming up with stuff to add and to change, and then you just get stuck into it. You know what you were saying about going all in.
Yeah.
Sometimes you know I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. It's time to move on to something else. And then other times you're just like, oh well, I can do this, switch this around. I'll add this. Oh, this just came in my head. I'll change this.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes you're just like, okay, I think I'm done.
Yeah. Sometimes you do have to.
I'm ready to move on to something else.
Yeah. I hear you. Well, this was fun like always.
So
I don't have anything.
Well, you do remember what you initially said, right? Okay.
I do.
You wanna
I think we can cut it right there, bro.
Okay.
I love it.
Do you wanna hit up on that next time?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about you want to just preview it? I mean,
sure. Yeah. You can. Yeah.
So next time we will talk. I know my topic that I wanted to touch on this show was, what would you do if you won $1 million? And I was like, I need to keep this light. I need to, and the reason why I brought that up, texted that to you. I just watched this show about people that basically like their lives went to crap after they won $1 million. There were some good stories and then there were some bad stories.
I've seen a couple of those, and
it's so sad.
It's almost like you, and I don't mean to like be negative about it, but I mean I guess there's no other way. But it almost seems like you become cursed. Like on one end you're winning, but then on another end it's like it's not going to be picture perfect like you think. Like, this is going to fix everything.
A lot of people did not come out unscathed. So, yeah, that was the whole premise around it. But, I mean, I love what we talked about, and I think that it's a good to end on the note that we end on.
Yeah.
As far as talking about what you were talking about. And we can definitely jump into that and much more, on the next show. So. Love you, bro.
All right, man.
Have a good one.
Until next time.
Everybody, bye.